Now at 5, crews work to restore power in parts of Lamar 2 days after the tornado. Plus, Missouri Southern welcomes younger students to promote sustainability on this Earth Day. And
I'm Tony Aiello at the Vatican. Tomorrow, the people gather to mourn the Pope. And then, the Cardinals convene to choose his successor.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
the Lamar, Missouri community is working to pick up the pieces after that tornado swept through on Easter Sunday. This is KOAM News at 5. I'm Dow Quick. The EF0 tornado left some residents with broken tree limbs in their yard and without power. The city administrator of Lamar says some of the main issues are damage to homes and those downed power poles. He says today crews are still working to restore power to residents. The city administrator also says the tornado was rain wrapped.
Start dealing with power outages and removing people's life comforts. It changes their lifestyle. And not knowing what businesses are going to be open and what resources are going to have available, that plays a high emotional toll on people.
Rives says volunteers are coming together to help the cleanup in the community. Let's check in with Chief Meteorologist Doug Heddy now for our first look at the weather.
Yeah, and it's been a pretty calm day for us today, but we have additional threat for showers and thunderstorms as we go through the next several days. And of course, with all the flooding rain, any rain that we get, we're going to have that flooding potential. Thunderstorms tonight kind of work in. We will get a few scatter guys in here late this evening into the overnight hours. Shouldn't be severe, but we get additional scattered thunderstorms popping up. So this is Wednesday afternoon. Some of these guys can pack a little bit more of a punch, and then we got another band which is going to be dropping in late Wednesday into Thursday. So we have a lot of rain, which is right around the corner. None today, but look at the month. 6¼ inches at the Joplin Airport. So we've had a lot of rain across the region. And of course, we'll watch those storms back to our southwest and look at our next severe weather event here in just a bit.
Catch it in. Missouri Southern took the lead in Going Green, celebrating Earth Day with a special focus on sustainability. The university welcomed local middle and high school students to discuss ways to make daily living more eco-friendly. Organizers say events like this are a critical reminder that everyone has a role to play in making the environment a healthier, more livable place.
Big picture, the environment is interconnected for everyone. So whatever's happening in Missouri impacts the surrounding states. Whatever happens in the United States potentially impacts globally. And so a focus on what is happening at a local level is also a focus of what can be happening at a national level or at a global level.
More than a dozen local companies participated in this event. Crowder College opened a new chapter on its annual used book sale today. The college's Lee Library director says all types of books are up for sale, including children's books and hardcover fiction. Funds from the sale help the Friends of the Library purchase equipment, books, book lecture speakers, and special events throughout the year.
So in the past, we were able to use our money to buy extra student laptops that students are able to check out for the whole entire semester. So that really helps our students, especially students who are taking online classes that can't make it to campus to use our computers. They're able to check a laptop out for the whole entire semester.
That event is open to the public as well as the campus community. In case you missed today's chapter, the event runs for 2 more days. Just head over to KOAMnewsnow.com for more information. We're learning new details about the funeral arrangements for Pope Francis. The Vatican announced today that the funeral mass for the 88-year-old pontiff will take place Saturday in St. Peter's Square. Reporter Tony Aiello is in Rome with the latest on what will happen in the coming days.
Preparations are underway at St. Mary Major Basilica 2 miles east of the Vatican, where Pope Francis will be laid to rest. He chose to be buried at the Basilica, a favorite of his, instead of at the Vatican like most popes.
It speaks about his humility. It speaks about his love of peace.
Tomorrow, Pope Francis's body will be moved in a procession from the private chapel of his Santa Marta residence to St. Peter's Basilica, where he will lie in state until Saturday's funeral and burial. Francis, who had been in poor health, died Monday, just the day after making a surprise appearance at Easter Sunday services. The next few days will be all about paying tribute to the man known as the People's Pope and all he accomplished during his 12-year papacy. Then the focus shifts to picking a new pope. Cardinals from around the world, many of whom will already be at the Vatican for Francis's funeral, will take part in the secretive election process known as the conclave. The voting is held in the Sistine Chapel. Only those cardinals under the age of 80 are eligible to participate.
A majority of the cardinals who will be voting are actually Francis appointees, but this doesn't necessarily mean that we're going to end up with someone just like Francis. There's a lot of politicking behind the scenes.
A two-thirds majority is needed to elect the next pope. Tony Aiello, CBS News, Rome.
World leaders are already making their way to Rome to attend Pope Francis's funeral. President Trump confirmed on social media that he plans to attend along with First Lady Melania Trump. Still ahead, tourism and the environment.
From new ways to restore coral reefs to environmental education, the tourism industry is working to improve sustainability. I'm Wendy Gillette in Grand Cayman with the efforts.
But first, canines that can sniff out stress. That's next in Health Watch. Topping today's Health Watch, U.S. health officials today say they're going to phase out petroleum-based artificial colors in our nation's food supply, potentially triggering an ingredients overhaul for scores of brightly colored products on American store shelves. The Federal Food and Drug Administration will take steps to eliminate the synthetic dyes by the end of 2026. The FDA commissioner says removing artificial dyes would boost children's health. Scientists at Columbia University are finding new signs that risk factors and biomarkers related to Alzheimer's are associated with cognition much earlier in life than previously understood. The study highlights risk factors that can be seen as young as ages 24 to 44. Researchers say the findings reinforce the importance of early prevention. People affected with tinnitus perceive sounds such as buzzing and ringing even if there's no corresponding external sound. In new guidelines, the U.S. Veterans Affairs and Defense Departments are recommending using therapeutic sounds, cognitive behavioral therapy, and hearing aids or implants as needed. Tinnitus can affect sleep and overall quality of life. In a new study of people around the world, middle-aged Americans showed some of the highest levels of loneliness. Led by an Emory University researcher, the study finds loneliness generally increases with age, but the U.S. and Netherlands were the only two countries studied where middle-aged people feel more lonely than older generations. Being unmarried, not working, depression, and poor health were among the major reasons cited for loneliness. We know dogs can sense our emotions, but did you know they can actually smell them too? Kirsten Mitchell introduces us to Duke, a Minnesota canine helping to sniff out stress.
Don't let this sweet face fool you. Duke's powerful nose is at work. The 2-year-old lab is a critical incident response dog with the Burnsville Police Department, specially trained to detect cortisol, a stress hormone in people.
We'll basically walk into a room and he'll sniff everybody who's in the room, and then he will zero in on the person who's the most stressed. He tries to get somebody to sit down and pet him. And eventually he'll lay across their feet.
Duke came from Canines for Freedom and Independence, a Texas nonprofit. Like a narcotics dog, he's trained to sniff out stress using sweat and saliva.
It is so much different than the therapy dogs because these dogs go out in the field. They can go on mental health calls.
Duke responds with Burnsville's behavioral health unit and spends the rest of his time visiting schools or attending community events.
Having him around kind of diminishes that. It breaks down the barriers of being able to work with somebody who is in crisis.
He's helping officers too.
Hopefully, we can start to slow down and prevent higher levels of suicide, individuals walking away from the job and resigning.
The question comes up to why do we need it? And the answer is, well, look at them, like it's fun.
Kirsten Mitchell, CBS News.
That is a look at today's health news. A little bit later, resuming collections of student loan payments. What could happen to those who don't pay?
Plus, it looks like we have more storms in the forecast. We're going to look at that coming up. Well, it turned out to be a beautiful Tuesday for us today. Quite a bit warmer temperatures, right around 80 degrees. A lot of sunshine. Not bad, not too windy as well. Great shot of our Indigo Sky Casino and Resort. Indigo just outside of Seneca, Missouri. Temperatures look good. Most of us upper 70s to near 80. We're going to continue to see really nice temperatures all week long. If you want to get outside this evening, of course, those evening daylight hours continue to stretch out. It's not even pitch dark after 8 o'clock, which is nice. Slide back through the 70s, 60s, and we don't drop off too much through the overnight hours. All right, severe threat this evening out to our west, but a few of those storms could try to get in here late tonight. They should not be severe. As we go into Wednesday, still a strong to low grade severe threat, mainly just to our west, and then again on Thursday. So a lot of rounds of thunderstorms, no big severe weather threats, but we can't rule out a couple severe storms as we go through the next couple days. And of course, we're going to break that down. Right now, we look good. Pretty much clear skies, but we'll watch these guys blowing up across the panhandles of Oklahoma and Texas. Should stretch up toward Wichita and then drive east a little bit later on tonight. We have all these little ripples in the upper level flow. So we don't have any big storm systems, but we have these weak little waves, which are enough to fire off showers and thunderstorms. Let's go through time. So here's about 10, 11, midnight. Some of those scattered storms getting in to southeastern Kansas. Again, I'm not expecting those to be severe, but we'll watch it and then kind of die as they push in. So most of us dry for us tonight. As we go through your Wednesday, southerly winds light, thankfully, but help our temperatures warm up. But once we get into Wednesday afternoon, highs near 80, you can see some isolated to scattered thunderstorms. If any of these can develop, they will have the potential to drop some large hail. But again, there's not going to be a lot of them out there, but they're going to be hit and miss. So we're going to watch this as we get into Wednesday evening. And then as we get into Wednesday night, they're gone. Let's go into Thursday. Band of thunderstorms out across central Kansas, most likely driving in here Thursday afternoon. Remember, we got so much rain. The ground is very saturated, so any rain we get will have that flash flooding potential. But scattered thunderstorms, especially Thursday afternoon, into the evening hours, and then again as we go into Friday morning. So still plenty of chances for rain. 75 by noon, 80 for a high. Those scattered thunderstorms late. Let's go down the road because we have a hot spot for next Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday for even a higher severe weather chances. We get a pretty good storm system which kicks out into the Central Plains. Here's our mess, all this, all week long. But look at the bigger system. So here's late Sunday into Monday. Second system rotates around, and that will give us a pretty good severe weather shot as we get into early next week. 80 on your Wednesday, 75s Thursday and Friday, 73 Saturday, 74 Sunday. I know it looks like a lot of rain. There is a chance that we will get rain in the viewing area each and every day, but it's not widespread heavy rain. But yeah, we have the chances there.
So we're not talking about everybody getting rain every day necessarily.
Correct.
All right, that's good anyway. Thanks, Doug. Coming up, Instagram plans to deploy AI to see if teens are masquerading as adults on the app. Topping today's Consumer Watch, the Education Department says that starting May 5th, it's going to begin collecting payments for student loans that are in default. According to the department, more than 5 million borrowers are in default, and 4 million more could be in that same position in a few months. For those who are behind on their payments, that could mean wage garnishment or money withheld from tax refunds and Social Security benefits. On CBS Mornings, CBS News business analyst Jill Schlesinger says those borrowers need to pay attention.
All of the people in default, we are now seeing reporting to credit agencies. We haven't seen that before. Wow. So we now know that credit scores are dropping for these borrowers by somewhere around 130 points.
The department says less than 40% of borrowers are current on their student loan payments. Instagram is testing artificial intelligence to sniff out teens pretending to be adults. If AI detects that an adult account actually belongs to a teenager, it's going to automatically implement teen account settings. Those have stricter content moderation settings and give parents more control over them. The cutoff age for those accounts is 18 years old. Instagram parent company Meta is making the change as industry experts debate who or what should be responsible for age verification. It is Earth Day, as we mentioned. It's when the world pauses to consider the health of our planet and how best to protect it. Many in the tourism industry are deeply concerned about climate change and other threats to the environment. CBS News correspondent Wendy Gillette reports on a couple of initiatives aimed at improving the world around us.
Marine biologist and owner of Wavelength Reef Cruises, John Edmondson, has pioneered a new way to help regrow damaged coral on the Great Barrier Reef.
Coral bleaching has been caused by climate change, which is caused by human greenhouse gas emissions.
Scientists say those emissions are warming the world's oceans, causing some reefs to die.
The bottom bit's alive, but a lot of that fragment is dead.
Edmondson and his wife Jenny collect broken coral, grow the pieces in nurseries, refragment them, and then use a clip Edmondson designed to replant them off the northeastern coast of Australia. In one remote area of the reef, marine scientists found catastrophic coral bleaching after ocean temperatures hit record highs last summer, part of what NOAA calls the most widespread global bleaching event to date.
The world's reefs are under serious pressure from a changing climate.
Barrier Reef education is a part of Edmondson's reef snorkeling trips.
There's an important role in ecotourism in just making people connect with the reef.
Many resorts are also expanding their efforts to educate guests about the environment, including here at the Ritz-Carlton Grand Cayman, where the annual Cayman Cookout has added more activities to showcase the island.
The food festival held every January that brings famous chefs together to play and cook has introduced kayaking and cycling tours, partnering with the Ambassadors of the Environment program.
We certainly have a big footprint. We certainly want to share our best practice and share why it's so important to protect the environment.
How was it?
Great.
And every year at the cookout, Chef Jose Andres heads underwater to capture an invasive species in the Atlantic.
Very, very sharp.
Lionfish, identified by their venomous spines.
Once we remove all those spines, it's safe to handle.
It's sending a message and creating awareness about the problem of the lionfish.
Andres cooks a fisherman's stew with the lionfish as the star ingredient, one less threat to the ecosystem. Wendy Gillette, CBS News, Grand Cayman.
Those lionfish are found in waters from North Carolina to South America. Spearfishing, as Andres does, is considered the best way to capture them. That's according to Florida Fish and Wildlife. A final check of the forecast up next. Up next on the CBS Evening News, an investigation of the nuclear waste disaster in the suburbs of one of our country's largest metro areas. Then on KOAM News at 6, the plans for the development of affordable housing at the site of the old Freeman Hospital building in Joplin. Plus, we're going to hear from participants in that Earth Day event at Missouri Southern, and Fairland Slow Pitch Softball hosts the district championship. Stay with us for the CBS Evening News and then KOAM News at 6. On this Earth Day, arborists are turning vacant land in Detroit into forests. Not of elms and oaks and red maples indigenous to the city, no, but giant sequoias, the world's largest trees that can live for thousands of years. Detroit is a pilot city for the giant sequoia filter forest. The nonprofit Archangel Ancient Tree Archive is donating dozens of sequoia saplings for the project. Archangel also plans to plant sequoia forests in Los Angeles, London, California, and Oakland. The massive conifers can grow to more than 300 feet tall with a more than 30-foot circumference at the base. They can live 3,000 years or so. So likely to far outlive all those buildings around them, even in the cities.
I would bet so, yes.
Yeah. Weather looking pretty nice at the moment.
Yeah, it looks pretty good if you want to get outside this evening. 80 tomorrow. We are going to have a few pop-up thunderstorms during the afternoon. A little bit more widespread on Thursday into Friday morning, and then kind of hit and miss as we go into the weekend. But temperature is pretty good.
Yeah, we'll take that for sure. Thanks for joining us. CBS Evening News is next. And, of course, we're going to be right back here for KOAM News at 6. We'll see you then. Let's make it a great evening.